This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Time finds a way to get us back to the start again. To get us back to the start again. To get us back to the start. Life finds a way to bring us back where it all began. To bring us back where it all began.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes, and yes. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Monday. Yes, it is Monday, just in case. May the 11th of 2026. And we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there. Radio Big. Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at RadioBig.fm over there. Anyways, how are you? How was your weekend? Did you have a good Mother's Day? No, I'm being serious. It's a serious question. And if you're saying, well, I'm not a mother, well, if that's the case, well, good. Then hopefully you were able to treat the mother figures in your life very good. So there you go. Yeah, I ended up going somewhere yesterday, did not realize how tired I was, and ended up passing out in somebody's porch. So that was fun. Anyways, I mean, when I say passing out, I mean falling asleep, not like passing out. Anyway, so let's start talking right away about some of the things that are going on here inside of our multiverse of ours. So if you're not familiar with what the hell we do here, our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of what we do. We talk a little bit about this. We talk about a little bit about that. We do bring in some feature story news, as that will go through the process. And then we come around and we will give you some level of a main story. Okay? So once that occurs, boom, it's a boomo. We start running right away about everything that is going on inside of the world. And that is it. That is our banging and moving and grooving and all that kind of fun stuff. That's kind of how we do it. Outside of that, everything else is just run. Now, if you want to come out and hang out and see what exactly we have going on, it's easy to do so. If you want to jump on callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, it's going to give you some options. It's going to be audio, video, and text messaging. Audio, video, and text messaging will be the options of the things that you can do once you get there. And then we just start running with everything. And then we're good. We're good to go. That's it. And also, I mean, here's the thing. Because we've put so many things together in so many different places, here's what we've done recently. We've updated our website. If you go to safetyfm.com, it looks much different if you've been there over the last month or so, even longer. We've done a whole update Everything is listed in there. You can actually get anywhere, anyhow, all that kind of fun stuff. Just go to safetyfm.com, and then, you even get some better sound quality now, but not something that, unless you've hung out there before, you would know. So that's it. So with that being said, why don't we do this? Why don't we start getting our friends from Feature Story News ready to go? They'll start talking to us, see exactly what's happening inside of the level of the multiverse, and then we just go from there. So if you're good to go, I'm good to go. Let's get into some news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Ishan Garg. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged a wave of measures to try to combat the economic impact of the Middle East conflict, including advising citizens to work from home and conserve fuel. The steps are being likened to practices adopted during the COVID-19 pandemic. Rebecca Bundan reports from Mumbai.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday urged people to go back to online meetings, to carpool and adopt work-from-home practices because it would help save fuel. India imports most of its oil and gas, and so the rise in energy prices due to the Iran war adds to the country's import bill. LPG supplies have been squeezed. Costly imports also put pressure on the rupee, which has been hitting record lows. Mr. Modi also asked citizens to avoid buying gold and hold back from non-essential overseas travel to save forex. He asked households to reduce cooking gas consumption, appealing to people's sense of patriotism in these times. Rebecca Bundan, Mumbai.
Oil prices jumped on Monday as the United States and Iran failed to agree to a peace proposal drafted by Washington, while the Strait of Hormuz remained largely closed, keeping global energy supplies tight. Meanwhile, stocks in Asia were mostly up on the back of AI trade, as Laura Westbrook reports.
Hopes for an imminent end to the conflict in the Middle East and for oil to flow once again through the Strait of Hormuz were dashed after US President Donald Trump dismissed the Iranian response to a US proposal for peace talks as unacceptable. Iran submitted a new proposal to US negotiators focusing on the end to the conflict. Analysts say President Trump's quick rejection of these counter-demands underscores the wide gulf between both sides. Brent crude, the international oil benchmark, climbed to around $104 a barrel. Meanwhile, South Korea's Kospi was the best performer in the region, surging nearly 5% at one point on a sustained rally in chip-making stocks. Other markets were mixed. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
British paratroopers have helped several passengers suspected of Hantavirus off the cruise ship stranded in the waters near a Spanish island. John Beaver tells us more.
Passengers started to be removed from the main vessel onto smaller boats. From there, they were taken on sealed-off buses to the island's main airport. None of the remaining passengers had displayed any signs of infection, but health officials on the Spanish-owned island were not taking any chances, implementing strict virus control protocols. 8 people on board had fallen ill during the cruise, including 3 who died, a German national and a Dutch couple. For the passengers who were evacuated from the vessel in Tenerife, they ultimately were put on charter planes to head back to their respective countries. The last group of Australian nationals are expected to leave on Monday.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, an eyewitness account of life on the streets of Tehran over several weeks of the US and Israeli war. Journalist Ali Hashem is a senior correspondent with Al Jazeera. He is Lebanese and he has been watching ordinary Iranians adapting their lives to months of war and economic uncertainty. He spoke to Foreign Policy magazine.
Life in Tehran seemed to be normalizing with the situation of war. That gives you an indication that the system and also the people were taking into consideration this could be a long war. So people will have to get back to their lives. So at least what I saw during the 50 days of my stay in Iran was an attempt by people, state, and the whole society to normalize the situation. Many people left at the first few days. I arrived in Tehran 10 days after the war, but in that time, many people left and returned back to the capital.
Tomorrow, Ali Hashem's account of what happened subsequently when President Donald Trump on social media threatened to destroy Iran's entire civilization. As you'll hear, it had a chilling effect on Iranians from all walks of life and across a wide variety of different viewpoints. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
FSN is an independent source of news for TV, radio and digital networks worldwide. You can find more of our minute-by-minute updates on Twitter. Follow us there at Feature Story. And we have a wealth of audio and video stories from our global news bureaus on Facebook. You can find us there by following Feature Story News. Stay tuned for further updates right here. But for now, that is the latest Feature Story News. Ishan Garg reporting.
We're your Monday wake-up call. So stretch, sip, and pretend you've got it together.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home title locks put a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
Infiltrated. Radio Big.
Okay, there you go. Some infiltration in Radio Big. It's kind of the way that we do our stuff, no doubt about that. So let's get moving and grooving right away inside of the world of the multiverse. So where do you want to start? Because there's so many things going on inside of this multiverse of ours that we can probably go a little bit of anywhere. Let's kind of get into some of the stuff that is kind of weird. So I was reading this one. Totally confused by it. But take a listen to this. A TikTok video has gone viral after the creator claimed a simple airport litmus test to determine whether someone is a decent human being or do they just put their backpack or coat in the overhead bin. In a clip, the TikTokers say that good travelers put their carry-on in the overhead bin and keep their smaller personal items, backpack, purses, etc., under the seat. Anyone who tosses their tiny bag into the overhead and takes up space meant to the full-size carry-on, he argues, is the worst type of person and deserves a life sentence. The video has racked up 1.2 million views, but the comments section is basically a revolt. Most viewers push back hard, saying that the backpack is still a carry-on, and so of course it goes in the overhead. Others argue that everyone gets an overhead spot, and it's those who choose to put it in their business. Some even said that the overhead space matters that much. People should pay to board earlier. So here's the thing. Here's the way that it should work, if we're talking about it, is that technically the spot above your seat is supposed to be your spot. Where it screws everything up, I'm going to be honest with you, when it comes to certain aspects of this, is that if you go into like a plane, let's use Southwest as an example. For some reason, they decide that those first bins, they assign it to the first seat, but it's not big enough to carry anything. And then sometimes some of the airline attendants put their stuff in there too, which causes a cluster, and that's kind of where it normally goes. But let's take a listen to what the guy had to say.
The easiest way to tell if someone is a good person in an airport is see where they put their luggage when they get on the plane. If they put their carry-on luggage in the overhead compartment and they put their personal item, like their backpack or their purse, under their seat, they're a good person and they're like aware of their surroundings. If they put their backpack or their purse or like that little small item, if they put that in the overhead compartment so that no one else can put their carry-on luggage on and they have to check it and then they have to wait by baggage claim to get their stuff, they are the worst type of person and they deserve a jail sentence for life.
So there you go. Narrow-mindedness is always great in regards to listening to what people have to say. No, I'm kidding. It's just one of those things. It's kind of a weird thing to make a video about it, but hey, if that's what you want to do, it's your choice. That's kind of the great thing about it. It's kind of great in regards to how this whole thing works. Okay, take a listen to this one. A TikToker named Giselle Cade says that she witnessed a dog urinating and defecating inside of Gordon Ramsay's street pizza restaurant in London and claims the staff and management did nothing about it. Her video has pulled over 18 million views, and the first clip showed a dachshund standing on a puppy pad inside of the restaurant. She later said, "I saw a dog urinate and defecate inside of the establishment, and the manager did nothing despite being present." Kate also said the restaurant still changed the full service fee until she pushed back. "This is unacceptable. It's not acceptable anywhere in the world." TMZ reported an eyewitness claimed the dog never relieved itself, but Kate called the article factually incorrect, insisting that the dog was licking the tables and encouraged to use the pad. She also pointed out that Ramsay owns website says the dogs are allowed outside only, accusing the restaurant of breaking its own policy. A circulating video alleges that Ramsay's TikTok showed him joking about the situation with his own dog Bruno in a diaper. Kate said that to stitch my TikTok video with a dog laughing about it is beyond appalling. She says that no one apologized, no one cleaned the area, and no one addressed the dog owner. She added, when you go to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, at minimum, you expect basic customer care, basic hygiene. None of that was there that night. Kate says that she was shocked at Ramsay's reaction, saying that it felt like watching your superhero become a villain. Did you just refer to Ramsay as your superhero? Gordon Ramsay spent years yelling at chefs for dirty kitchens, then the dog beat it in the dining room floor, and he said, "Cute." Take a listen to the video.
Ma'am, why is there a dog using a wee-wee pad in a restaurant? What is that? You want some?
Do you want some? Is that what was said? Okay, so I don't know. Kind of a weird one. Kind of a weird one overall when you start thinking about it. But hey, what are you going to do there? Let's just put it this way. It's better off that, that a dog was potentially there with a wee-wee pad and you didn't have somebody else using the wee-wee pad in the middle of a restaurant.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, who really does care what I have to say? It doesn't matter anyway. So let's continue talking. A commencement crowd at the NC State's Wilson College in Textiles went from polite applause to full screaming when their speaker announced that he and his wife were wiping out every graduate senior student debt loan. During the graduation ceremony, Reynolds Coliseum donor Enel Kutcher stunned the class of 2026 by revealing that he and his wife Marilyn would pay off all education loans, including during the student's final year. The gift made in honor of his late father, who came from India to study textiles at North Carolina State in the 1940s. Instantly turned the ceremony into an emotional celebration. The moment announcement was made, gasped, cried, hugged each other, and then rose for a standing ovation. Many said relief would change their lives, including students like Alicia D. Costa, who shared how much her financial burden weighed on her immigrant family. The graduation class included 176 bachelor students, 26 master students, all from Wilson College of Textiles. University officials said the Kutcher coordinated the debt relief plan with the school leadership and financial aid staff ahead of the time. Though the total cost is still being calculated, the gift was deeply personal to him, and his father believed that he to be the only second Indian student to ever be enrolled at NC State, earned degrees in the 1950s and 1952 before building the global career. Kutcher told graduates that his father's journey, sacrifice, and opportunity at North Carolina State shaped the family legacy, and that he hoped that this gift would give today's students the same freedom to pursue their dreams. Take a listen.
It is my privilege to announce today that in honor of my father, my wife Marilyn and I are providing a graduation gift to cover all the final year educational loans incurred by the Wilson College graduates during the 25-26 academic year.
Wow, imagine that. Imagine that shock. That would probably change someone's life entirely when you're starting to take a look at that. Because let's take a listen to this and let's kind of imagine this for just a moment. Can you imagine the amount of debt that most people go into the moment that that they sign up for college? I mean, it's not because it is one of those weird things that happens. It's this kind of societal norms in regards on how it is. It's you go to school, you go to elementary school, you go to middle school, you go to high school, depending on how your family layout is, depending on the economy, maybe you didn't get a loan, or maybe you didn't get a grant, better saying, maybe you didn't get a Pell Grant, maybe you didn't get this kind of grant, whatever grant, and all of a sudden you had to get some level of a student loan. Listen, you don't want to start with that shit. You definitely do not want to start with some level of a loan starting off. You don't want to start off in debt and then trying to work that whole thing backwards, because that is not a fun time as we are talking. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other stuff in regards of what was going on. Now, if you were keeping your ear close to the ground, because I don't know if being close to the ground was a good deal, there was something very interesting that happened over the weekend. Frontier Airlines flight departing Denver International Airport on Thursday night struck and killed a pedestrian who had entered an active runway. Frontier Flight 4345 was taking off for Los Angeles with 231 people on board at 11:19. The crew reported hitting a person on the runway 17L. Denver International Airport said that the person jumped the perimeter fence and hit roughly 2 minutes later. The person was not an airport employee, died at the scene. Emergency crews responded immediately, and the passengers were bused back to the terminal before being placed on another flight. The airport said that 12 people suffered minor injuries, 5 taken to a local hospital. Air traffic control audio captured the pilot telling the tower, "We just hit somebody and we have an engine fire. We're going to evacuate on the runway." Smoke began filling the cabin after the aircraft came back down, prompting a full evacuation. Frontier said that Airbus A321 carrying 224 passengers and 7 crew is now part of an ongoing investigation involving airport and federal safety officials. The airport later determined the fence appeared intact. Upon inspection, passenger Jose Cervantes told KCNC that he heard a thud as the plane lifted off and then saw the right wing on fire. "I thought I was going to burn to death," he said, describing the smoke that was filling the cabin, and the aircraft came to a stop. Take a listen.
There was an individual walking across the runway.
We was getting ready to take off, and then it felt like a big speed bump, and then I look to the right, I see the wing is on fire and it's sparking.
We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
Okay, so there you go. Engine fire. Like I'm slightly confused, but I get confused about a lot of things in life. Let's just not lie here. But you jumped a fence, jumped a perimeter, went onto an active runway, got hit by a plane and died. Listen, we can talk about incidents itself. It does not going to change anything in regards to what we're doing, but also at the same time, too, as we are talking about this, it makes it stranger. It makes it stranger in regards to what exactly was going on. So there you go. A lot of stuff to talk about, no doubt about that. So let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is kind of what we do around here. We talk a little bit about everything that's going on. So we'll get out of the odd stories for a moment and let's kind of go into some serious business for just a moment. I heard this one and I was totally shocked about this, but CBS News Radio, long considered a foundational blueprint for modern radio journalism, will air its final broadcast on May the 22nd of 2026. The shutdown closes the book on services that shaped generations of reporters, defined breaking news coverage, and launched some of the most retrospective voices in broadcast history. It introduced the industry earlier standards to live reporting, correspondence dispatching, and network newscasts, becoming the model other networks followed. Legendary journalists Edward R. Monroe, Robert Trout, and Charles Osgood built their reputations there, giving the network global credibility. What are they shutting down? CBS executives have cited the changes in how people are getting their news incredibly from social media and challenging the economic realities of stuff. So what do you think here? It's definitely different. I mean, and let's just talk about this, because this is stuff that we don't talk about in the back end. But let's talk about it in the front end now. But legacy media, depending on how it's reported nowadays, it's very difficult for some people to want to be interested. You have to look at it on how the generations work when it comes to it. It's not just, hey, we're running. Sometimes it boils down to, this is not the format that I want. Listen, I will tell you, if you hang out and you go onto social media, depending which one you like, most of the news stories now are in shorts. Not that they're wearing shorts, but they're short little video clips. So they have your attention for a very short period of time. You normally have options to find the longer story, or you have the option of watching the short that gives you just kind of the brief synopsis of what's going on. Now, here's what happens is, because of the short, you might get skewed one way or the other, depending on how it looks at. Now, I will tell you, I was looking a few days ago, there was an interview that I was highly interested in, and I realized that it was 2 hours and 5 minutes long. Not that the subject did not matter to me. It was one of those things that I found interesting. But then I realized that I sat there and I watched the bulk of the clips of the interview, opposed to actually watching the whole interview. Because I was like, 2 hours and 5 minutes, that's a commitment. Duh. So that's one of those things you have to think about. So we'll see what happens there at good old CBS. So, have you heard about this one? Because if you haven't, we probably need to talk about it. And if you have, we probably still need to talk about it anyways. But passengers from the Hantavirus-stricken MV Hondius cruise ship began disembarking yesterday, ending a tense quarantine period as health officials confirmed multiple infections and several deaths linked to the outbreak. The MV Hondius, this is called the MV, which had been under international scrutiny after the Hantavirus outbreak on board, finally followed the passengers to leave the ship in the Canary Islands. From there, travelers were placed on a charter flight back to their home countries. Health officials confirmed that 8 total cases connected to the ship, a mix of confirmed and probable infections. 2 passengers have died, and a 3rd passenger's death is suspected to be linked to the virus. Among the travelers, 17 U.S. citizens and at least 1 American tested positive. The passengers will be transported directly to Nebraska Biocontainment Unit, one of the highest level infectious disease facilities in the country. The hantavirus, while rare, can be severe. Now, let me talk about this, because this is where it gets interesting. Could you imagine you're going on vacation for a moment, and then all of a sudden, this vacation has turned into
the hell nightmare,
because all of a sudden everything has changed for you. Everything has gone from one way to the other because, man, things just got crazy inside of what was going on. I'm just saying. So it becomes one of those very weird, interesting things as we are talking, because all of a sudden you have this major incident, quote unquote, that is going on. So I do not know what exactly to think about it. So there you go. There you go. What else do we got? What else do we got around here? Do we want to give you one more? Yeah, let's do this one real quick. A national workplace surveys found that the vast majority of employees feel that somewhere between meh and mildly dissatisfied. And the deeper researchers looked, the clearer the pattern became. Passion for work has dropped sharply after the age of 35. When stress, burnout, and rising responsibilities collide, many workers report that feeling stuck, underevaluated, or disconnected from the company's mission. And the fewer than 1 in 5 say that they feel energized by what they do each day. The study also revealed that people who do love their jobs tend to share a few traits: supportive managers, flexible schedules, meaningful tasks, in a sense that their work actually matters. But most employees, the daily grind feels more like survival than fulfillment, which explains why job hopping, quiet quitting, and burnout rates continue to climb. So there you go, some stuff to think about as you are going into it. So let's go ahead and do that thing that we do now, 32 minutes past the top of the hour. We call it the main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
You know, I have to tell you, sometimes I sit back and I go, how those people feel, I don't feel about it. I really do enjoy what I get to do for work. And the funny part is that I call it work, and stuff that I do, I really don't consider it work at all. I consider it a mild form of entertainment in regards of some of the stuff that gets to happen. I loved being able to travel. I love being able to go to work sites. I love being able to broadcast. I love being able to sit here and have discussions with you, interact with you in regards to the things that are going on. And the reason that I say that is because that's exactly how I feel. And here's what happens. I came to the conclusion many years ago that I was doing something that I did not love. And I said, let's find a thing to do on our own. But let me not get on a tangent here, because we got something to discuss this morning. So let's talk about it. A lot of times we go around looking for things that we do love to do, and we end up trying to look for the guru. Seriously, the guru, or the subject matter expert in regards of who's going out there doing stuff. And then as you are searching, you are looking, you are trying to find, all of a sudden you have that holy crap moment take place where you go, oh, does this make sense to do or not? And then you see the sign. It's the Masterclass. Now let's talk about that terminology there, because that's one of those weird things that I don't understand. All of a sudden, you go to a website, you're looking for something to do, and you have the subject matter expert, quote unquote, telling you that I am offering you
The Masterclass.
And once you take this, you will be a subject matter expert like me because you took the
Masterclass.
And with that being said, let's talk about this. There are people that are out there that are teaching stuff that are master classes. That's what they claim they are. And some of these people look like they've been in the industry less than a year. Some of them have been in the industry less than 5 years. Master class terminology should probably scare you right away unless it's coming from a university. And I'm talking about a real university, not some bullshit that somebody just made up last week that I have a university and they decide to put a name on front of it or on it and saying that that's how they're going to teach you. I will tell you, I have been involved with two gentlemen that created their own school that were universities. That they were trying to teach people because they were subject matter experts in the field. I'm going to tell you, run from those things. Anytime that someone is telling you that they are a master at doing something, double check those credentials. Double check what exactly is going on. Because listen, a master has done something normally 10,000 times. One single thing, 10,000 times. If you look at it, you want to make sure that you have a high level of understanding. Some people go through these things and say, this is what we're going to call our stuff. I will tell you, there is some very famous companies out there that teaches
Masterclass.
And when you go to their sites or go to their things, it is a speech. It is a one-way speech. They are telling you this is what you need to do. It is not an engagement. It is not an interaction. It is a 45-minute to a 1 hour speech. Nothing else is going down. And then at that point, everything changes. And why do I say that particular portion? Because supposedly, quote unquote, you have done the certificate of completion from our 45-minute to 1 hour course that has made you a
master because you went to our master class.
So once those things occur, all of a sudden people are now running the road, running the street, saying that they are a master in X subject. And then what happens? You have people out there that are going around training other people because now they have been certified as a
master
because they went to the
master class
of whoever it is. And that's where it gets weird. Now, I have sat in conversations with high-level people that are looking for a Founding Fathers certification course. And I will tell you that the people that are quote-unquote the Founding Fathers of whatever subject it is will not agree to do it because the course is not long enough. You cannot take a day course, a 2-day course, and all of a sudden become a master in whatever subject it is. You're not going to do it 10,000 times. You have to have some level of credibility. Here's the weird thing about school. And I'm talking about like real schools. I'm talking about like universities. I'm talking about these other things. If you go out there and you go and attend, you are getting academic knowledge most of the times to go out there and test. Does not mean you have a full understanding of it. A lot of people are going to have a hard time with that one. Will you know better than the average Joe? Maybe. But here's the problem. If you run into somebody out there on the street that has actual real world application of it, will you know more than them? I don't know. That's going to be the problem there because the conversation between the two, between actual world work and the way that the academic work is done, and you combine those things, then you have probably enough knowledge base, but still not considered a master. The reason that I say this for the following reason. You do not have enough practice behind you. So the next time you're going to go to an event and you see that it's a master class or
master class,
I might double check those credentials in regards to what's going on. Because the worst thing that you can do is go to a self-proclaimed guru and find out that they really just don't know shit.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice. Sold your rebellion as a new initiative. And smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, And when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater. Zero harm turned into optics. And feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Another great hour of Freeform Radio. Or is it Radio Big?
Back where it all began. Life is beautiful.
Okay, here we go. 45 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday. Yeah, this right here that you're taking a listen to, this is Life is Beautiful by Harbrus. Songs readily available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, and Pandora. I would say go ahead and give it a little streamer-eamer action. Calmer moods now. You know me, I always like listening to something new. Only reason I say that you know that is because I talk about it all the time. So, let's go ahead and do this right now. Let's go ahead and take the smooth sounds. Okay, Harbrus, thank you for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show, also known as the J. Allen in the Morning Show during the first hour, that's for sure. So let's talk about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you'll see information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Once you get there, everything will be there for you. In regards of that particular information, I'm going to tell you, you go to that website, it can change a lot of things for you. TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Telling you, it's one of those things that pretty interesting once you get there. It just has so much info that it's mind-boggling how much you could do with it. Seriously, not a joke as I just say that. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. That is for sure. Okay, so let's continue talking in regards of what exactly is going on. Earlier today, we were talking about our new website. Our updated website is really the way that we should talk about it. If you go over there, you'll see all kinds of different stuff all of a sudden. It has changed the way that we do stuff. We are focusing on, everything that we do. A lot of people always had questions on what about our events and all that kind of great stuff, the visual radio aspect, how to call into the studio, how to listen to the other stuff, and how do you get in contact with the host. Everything's there now. We have tried to make this so simplistic. All you have to do is go to safetyfm.com. Take a look at the new website and tell me what exactly you think. If you like it, you love it, you hate it, I would love to know your opinion. All you have to do is go to the hub section, go to where it says call the studio, click on it, boom, and you're here. Seriously, callinradio.com, directly attached to it. That way we're just making everything easier. The other portion is if you go to the website, everything's mobile friendly. I have decided, this is kind of how we made the decision, is that we're just going to go ahead and focus on everything there directly. So now you don't need an app. We had made it a little bit more difficult. Download this app here, make sure that it's still working, all that stuff. You can just play it directly now. off of the website. You could kind of do that before, but it was a little bit more to it than what you think. But if you go over there now, boom, it is all there, set to go. Ready, bowling, and all that kind of fun stuff. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of that multiverse of ours. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. I do have John Small waiting in the wing, wanting to talk about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute. So if you're good with it, I'm good with it. We can bring some John Small in, let him tell you exactly what's going on, and let's get motivated on this Monday.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Julie. Carol Dweck said, "Becoming is better than being." Very interesting. Now, I was not familiar with Carol, so I searched the web to see who the heck is that. Well, she was the author of Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. In that book, she also talks about the legendary UCLA basketball coach John Wooden, where she said, he didn't ask for mistake-free games. He didn't demand that his players never lose. He asked for full preparation and full effort from them. Did I win? Did I lose? Those were the wrong questions. The correct question was, did I make my best effort? If so, he says, you may be outscored, but you will never lose. Very cool quotes. Now I'm heading down a rabbit hole to read more quotes from Carol. I would recommend those to others too. Maybe we'll have a few more of her quotes in the coming weeks. I look forward to them. The Motivation Minute. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
State lawmakers in Tennessee have passed new congressional maps, setting off a fresh fight over voting rights.
The new lines are the first approved after a Supreme Court ruling weakened part of the Voting Rights Act. Democratic Representative Justin Jones said the changes split majority black districts, while Republican supporters say the maps reflect population shifts. The move could reshape several races ahead of the next election cycle. Debate over redistricting is expected to keep building as states redraw their political maps. Gary Beck reporting.
Passengers have begun leaving a cruise ship linked to a Hantavirus outbreak, with health officials closely monitoring the situation.
CNN says the ship reached Spain's Canary Islands after the illness killed at least one person. Officials have not reported any new cases among those who have disembarked. The outbreak has raised concern for the remaining passengers and crew. Health teams are continuing checks as the ship's next steps are decided. Kyle Norris reporting.
A California sailboat owner is being sought after a vessel tied to a missing woman's yacht was found moored near it.
The Coast Guard is asking for help identifying the owner. Investigators are trying to connect the boat to the wider search and to determine who had been aboard. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Average U.S. gas prices have climbed above $4.50 a gallon, reaching the highest level in nearly 4 years.
That figure comes as drivers head into a busy spring travel period. The latest prices put more pressure on household budgets, especially in states where fuel costs are already high. Lawrence Keller reporting.
A CBS News visual investigation is shedding new light on an alleged attempt on President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
The report says investigators are still piecing together what happened. It adds to a wave of recent scrutiny around security and political violence. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Iran says it has answered the latest U.S. ceasefire proposal as tensions spread across the Gulf and diplomacy stays in focus.
The response went through Pakistani mediators, according to the report. At the same time, British maritime officials said a vessel caught fire after being hit near Qatar. The blaze was brought under control, and no injuries were reported. Chris Anderson reporting.
Russia is accusing Ukraine of breaking a U.S.-brokered truce, while Kiev says Russian strikes have kept up. Moscow said Ukraine violated the short ceasefire that began Saturday.
Ukrainian officials said one person was killed and several more were hurt when a Russian drone hit an apartment building in Kharkiv on Saturday evening. Ukraine and its allies are pressing Putin to accept a 30-day ceasefire, even as fighting continues on the ground. An appeal comes as both sides trade blame over fresh attacks. The pause was linked to Victory Day, and President Trump has said a prisoner swap could follow. Benjamin Wright reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Radio Big, mastering the art of putting music on shuffle. Radio Big.
Okay, so let's start talking right away about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 1928, General Electric opens the first TV station. So there you go. What else do we have? Let's see. In 1976, last broadcast was Marcus Welby, MD, on ABC. In 1977, Ted Turner manages an Atlanta Braves game. Yep, that happened back on that date. Let's see, what else? In 2015, the Fox network announced that they were canceling their TV talent show American Idol after the 2016 season. So there you go. Some things that happened back on this date. Okay, if you're looking for some celebrity birthdays for today, let's see. What is this one? Boyd Gaines turned 73. Martha Quinn turned 67. Yeah, that's from MTV fame, just in case. Let's see. What else? Cam Newton turns 37 today, and Sabrina Carpenter, she turns 27 today. So there you go. That's some birthdays going on inside of the world. What else do we got going on for you? I think that's it, right? Isn't that it? Oh, yeah. Things you ought to know. Maybe that's going to be important. Let's talk about that one. On NBC Meet the Press today, yesterday, Energy Secretary Chris Wright said that that President Trump is open to all ideas to bring down the soaring fuel costs, including a temporary suspension of federal gasoline tax. Several states have already paused their own gas taxes in response to the price spike. The Wright indicates that administration is considering similar federal actions as Americans feel the strain at the pump. So there you go. Let's see. Friday's Mega Million numbers were 37, 47, 49, 51, 58. Mega Ball was 16. Jackpot was $215 million. No winners, so it rolls to $232 million for tomorrow. Saturday's Powerball number was the following: 15, 41, 46, 47, 56. Powerball was 22. Jackpot was $47 million, and no winner rolls into $57 million tonight. So there you go. And then President Trump is reportedly preparing to fire FDA Commissioner Marty Makary. According to multiple reports, sources say that Trump has grown increasingly frustrated with Makary and has signed off on the plan to replace him. The tension stems from ongoing clashes between Makary and the White House and officials inside of the Department of Health and Human Services. Those disagreements have established to the point where the administration is now moving into a role to replace him. So there you go. There you go. Okay, so that's going to pretty much, I think, sum it up for what the hell we have going on. No doubt about that. So the summation in regards of everything, that's just kind of the way that it goes there. Outside of that, that's it. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to RadioBig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. All you have to do is click over there. We'll be talking about the world of music, the world of entertainment, and moving forward from there. That's just kind of how we do our things. If you don't want to go over there, that's perfectly fine. You can hang out here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. That's it. Let me give you some words of wisdom for today, if you do not mind, because I would love to share some of those with you. Don't rise to the level of your goals. You'll fall to the level of your habits. Small things done consistently beat big things done occasionally. Think about that. Also, if you want some advice for today, if you want to boost your mood fast, step outside for 2 minutes. Sunlight triggers serotonin almost instantly. It's the cheapest therapy on earth. Not a joke as I'm saying that. And then before I forget, I want to mention this one to you today. Today is National Twilight Zone Day. This day features mysterious twists and turns highlighted with the eerie background music of unexplainable occurrences. The television show, The Twilight Zone, was created, written, and narrated by Rod Serling. Let's see, the premiered back on October 1st, 1959. The episodes were wildly popular, attached to the imagination, and captivated viewers, and the show aired from 1959 to 1964. Rod Serling also created show spinoffs like Night Gallery, so there you go. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.